This highway's more than blacktop. It's more than these white lines. It's more than just a living, y'all. It's my way of life. Just like my dad before me, I'm addicted to the road. Another day, another town, another long haul load. Slamming trucks, stop, cut me down. Midnight, I'm Miami bound. 40 tons of Pennsylvania steel. I'll race the rain, fight the wind. This radio's my only friend. But Lord, you know I love the way it feels, living life on 18 wheels. I love the new horizons, the change of scenery. Every day's different, that's what sets me free. Jamming gears, counting miles, crawling up these hills. I don't get tired of this grind, hell, I guess I never will. Slamming trucks, stop, cut me down. Midnight, I'm Miami bound. 40 tons of Pennsylvania steel. I'll race the rain, fight the wind. This radio's my only friend. Lord, you know I love the way it feels, living life on 18 wheels.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Left Lane with Lefty podcast. We have actually got a very, very special announcement tonight. We got a very wonderful, two wonderful guests in the backstage. And tonight, we're going to go through a little bit and talk to these gentlemen and go through and see what's going on in their lives and what's coming up and what else are they doing. So on that note, let me bring this gentleman on in, and then I'll bring the other one right in right after him. This gentleman needs no introduction. He's the myth, the legend, the greatest of all-time truck driver and singer. Welcome, Mr. Tony Justice.
Hey, everybody. How y'all doing?
You doing good tonight?
Yes, sir. How you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing good. I know we've been busy trying to get a hold of back and forth trying to get with you, but I know you had some stuff you were doing this week and me trying to catch up tonight. And it's just been chaos between both of us.
But it all finally worked out, so that's a good thing.
So how'd the fishing tournament turn out?
You know, we did good. It's a 2-day tournament. It's a store, but my son works at Bass Pro Shops here in Kodak, Tennessee, actually right across from where we did the truck show. And so they have to. It's an employee tournament, and they had to split it up into 2 days because if they did everybody on one day, they would have nobody to work the store. So we fished the second day. We won our day tournament with our weight, but overall we finished like fifth. The anglers that fished the day before, the bite was just so much better than yesterday for whatever reason. I think they fed up pretty hard on Tuesday. When our day rode around, it was tough. We had to work really hard for the 5 bites that we got, and luckily we caught them all and got them in the boat and had a limit and was able to win yesterday's round. But overall, we ended up finishing fifth, so it was a good day. I mean, I got to spend the day with my son and on the lake fishing, doing what we both love to do, and you can't never go wrong when you get to do that.
No, you can't. No, you can't. And I'm glad you were able to get time and be able to come on the show because, I wanted to see what was going on since last year when we had the truck show and all the concerts. And last time I seen you was at Mayberry. But I know you've got some new CDs that come out. I know you've got some new stuff in the works. And I've been seeing a lot of the new ads for the new truck show for this year. That's the large cars and guitars that's going on at the Great Smoky Mountain Truck Show that's going on over there in Kodiak.
Yep. Kodak, Tennessee, large cars and guitars 2. It's part 2. So our second year, and we're excited, done working our tail ends off, making that thing, try to make it better than it was last year. And we got a lot of cool things. New acts. Got Aaron Tippin coming in this year, so we was able to, had headhunters last year, so we got Aaron Tippin in this year. We got William Michael Morgan. We're working on getting that contract finished up and all that rider information back to them. And Steve Molanders was, who's also in the trucking industry, helps out the folks over at Massey Freight. He's a great songwriter and entertainer. Taylor Barker is joining us. Another singer, songwriter, trucker guy, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We got Paul Moorhofer joining in also on Friday night to entertain. We got Elvis. I mean, Elvis comes to my show, so that should tell you how cool of a show it is.
Yeah.
But we got you can't beat that. I mean, we got we got the impersonator from Memories Theater up there in Pigeon Forge that comes down, and he was there last year and just did an amazing job. We've had everybody asking if he was going to be back this year, so it's going to be a lot of fun. I also got my buddy Robbie Hopkins coming in to open up for William Michael Morgan. He co-wrote on Last of the Cowboys with me. We've been writing together for quite a while, and he's been on some songs. We got a song on the new album, My Greatest Shifts album, that me and him wrote together called Truck Named Purgatory. So we're excited to have him there this year, getting to hear some of those songs that he's written and see him perform, and just a lot of other activities that'll be going on besides concerts. We had 109 trucks last year. Hopefully, we're thinking we're going to come close to doubling that this year. We're getting a lot of participation from sponsors and vendors, so it's grown into a bigger deal than it was this time last year. So we're looking forward to it.
Nice, yeah. I mean, it seems like there's going to be a lot of good entertainment there with entertainers. That's really well. I mean, Long Haul Paul, you, Steve Molander. I mean, you guys always put on a hell of a show. And then you got the guy over here, I mean, he might be an Elvis impersonator. I mean, you never know in the background. But, but I heard he was kind of famous. But, then we got, all-time greatest, Mr. Bullsnot himself, Mr. Van Brown. How you doing tonight, sir?
I'm tired. I've been working in the warehouse all day. Orders have been coming in strong, and it's working my butt off to keep up with all my people. And I do have a good crew, so I'm very thankful for that. And I'm going to be one of the sponsors for Tony's Large Cars and Guitars. Bullsnot nice. Proud of that. And so look forward to
we're all Bullsnot proud.
That's going to be one of the best shows of the year. I based on what I already know, it's going to be phenomenal. And Tony's pulled in some sponsors that all I can say is my hat's off to you. He's pulled in some major national sponsors that he hasn't released yet. I'm not going to release them, but he's done a hell of a job and put together a show. And he's got one of my really close friends. I actually knew him before I knew Tony. Great songwriter, Robbie Hopkins. If you never heard him before, come out to Tony's show, hear him in person. You will be impressed. He's a good friend, and he's a great songwriter.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I mean, because this is something that's more than most of them that we've been to, most of the truck shows. And last year, you rocked it out of the park last year. I went on Saturday because I wasn't able to make it on Friday, but I did go Saturday and hung out. Man, I think I was sat in the back of Brandon Carpenter's back of his trailer with Long Haul Paul until 2 a.m. He's just back there just still picking away. But I mean, the Kentucky Headhunters put on a good show. You put on a great show, and everybody was going wild. I mean, I almost thought I was going to have to get a straitjacket for Gary Jones because, I mean, that's my boy right there. I mean, he was all over the place. He goes, nope, I don't care what anything's going on. Tony's singing. So, I mean, it was a good show. I mean, it really was. So, and then I hear, and last year we had Troy Massey and we had Bo Cephas with his truck, and then we had Jacob Bonhamley, which is with Hater Made. And then I hear something that one of the songs on your new CDs, on your new album's got Jacob on there singing. I mean,
so yeah, we
voiceover or something because I know he's kind of scruffly.
Yeah, we didn't let him sing. I mean, because we wanted to actually sell some of these, but we got him. There's a song on the album called "Truck It Up," and it's it's really upbeat. Kind of like Last of the Cowboys. Up tempo song that makes you want to mash on the pedal and do some trucking. And we got so it's a country song, but it's kind of on the border of country and southern rock a little bit, and so it goes into a little segment there where I was able to bring in some friends of mine, to participate on this. It's a little something different, for the fans. I think when they hear it, they're not going to see it coming, but it's got like a really cool deal. I was able to bring Jake Brake Junkie in on it and have him perform as well. A lot of people know who he is, and he's also a truck driver that does a lot of his own riding and performing, and so he's able to bring him in and perform on it. And then at the end of his performance, there's it ends with the word "son of a bitch," and of course we didn't want to say that on the album, so he cuts it off at "son of a," and then Jacob, he's got this saying that he's kind of coined the phrase of, "You know what it is," and so we bring him in right there when the "son of a" ends, and he does that. Well, you know what it is. I mean, it turned out so good. I mean, it's awesome. I can't wait for everybody to hear it. It was it was a big honor to have Jacob and Jake Brake come on there, because I haven't researched it, but maybe somebody will. I don't know if there's ever been a trucking song done with 3 actual truckers who are currently, CDL licensed, still trucking, to ever perform on one song together. So I think that's pretty cool. And I'm looking forward to seeing how people react to it.
Yeah, because I don't remember with you saying that. I went back. I'm thinking in my memory, you haven't. The only thing that it's maybe 2 on there, and I know you and Aaron done.
Yeah. Yeah, Just Ampley had some duo trucking songs, I think, but I can't think of anyone. But I'm talking about artists who are still licensed, still have their health card, are still doing that for a living. Not putting anything else or anyone else down, but actual current drivers, on an album. And it was just a big pleasure to be able to involve, just a couple of my friends in a special way, and it was just a good time. It was just fun. That's why I wanted to do it.
Well, you did say special friend, that one right there, special. Yeah, special.
I don't sing. I can play a radio out of tune.
Yes.
Oh well, hey,
We'll let Van stick to making the chemicals and the stuff that cleans our stuff up really well, and I'll stick to writing the songs and singing.
Amen.
He's told me it was with you driving down the road that you have done some songs that have come to you and you had them done in 20 minutes because of how you're when you're in a truck. And this is from what I'm understanding, that and I can understand it when you get writer's block. Well, I mean, it's like a writer having a writer's block or something. You need something to clear your head to get thinking. Your key thing is to get back in a truck, start driving, and then it comes to you like a flow, like a water flow over a waterfall. It's just bam, there it is. All right, I can do it. And he said, you've had some of them that come to you in 20 minutes and have it done written front to back.
Yeah. So, I consider myself more of a inspirational writer than a perspirational writer. You have, you got guys down there in Nashville and, really all around the world, just professional songwriters who write songs daily. Like we drive trucks daily, our van works on chemicals daily, and those guys are hard to beat. I mean, that's their craft, and I'm not that guy. I mean, if a great idea don't hit me and something's really hot and I know it's good, I just assume go fishing or, go do a little trucking or hang out with the family. Stuff will just hit me. I don't know what triggers it. And I ride it, and I've never been the kind of person not very many times at all have I had an ideal for a song and then, write it later. Something will just usually hit me out of the blue, a line or something. And it's almost like somebody opens the top of my head up and it gets poured in there. And we definitely take advantage of those, the times that happens. And so, yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just what I do and how I do it. And it seems to be working.
But see, and that's what makes it nice, because you're willing to open up and tell people, hey, if something's not right or I can't get it just right, hey, I have no problem jumping in a truck or going fishing and getting it out there. Because a lot of people don't tell them, oh, hey, I just come up with a song or someone wrote it for me. But like us, you know, I mean, there's times I can sit there and be thinking about something, trying to work on something, and be like, man, I know there's something here, but I just can't put my finger on it. But then
Mm-hmm.
you can sit there and go away from that and work on something else, and then it goes, bam, oh yeah, hey, I can finish that. Same thing like with Van.
Yeah, that's truck moment.
Yeah. I've got songs now in my mind that, you know, I just had to pull away from, you know, it's got a great first verse and a chorus, and I just can't get that. I can't get that second verse. It's as good as what I got or better. And I have shelved songs like that for literally a year. 18 Wheels and Jesus was I wrote that first verse and chorus. I don't remember what year, but hell, it was probably 3 or 4 years before I finished writing that song and recording it. So it's weird. I just, I'm not that guy that can say, hey, let's ride at 2:00 tomorrow and show up with anything worth a dang, you know, something either hits me or it don't. And I figure it just comes natural, and I just assume keep it that way as versus trying to be that everyday songwriter and try to make a living at it.
Yeah. I tell you, one of my favorites, and everybody thinks I'm crazy. Van thinks I'm kind of crazy, but
I know it.
Believe it or not, and it's funny, and I love all your songs, and I really do. But one of my favorites, because it makes me laugh, and I get in a better mood when I'm out driving. And I mean, I can sit there and just be, you know what? I need something to make me laugh, get it going. And then next thing you know, I'm putting on Center Lane Larry. Oh, yeah. That is hilarious. I'm like, yep, I can see it every day. I go down 81 or I go down 40. Oh, yeah, I can see it. There they are with the gloves and foot up on the dash. I'm like, really? Come on, people. Really?
Yeah, so, my favorite is they got the shade over their driver's window so the sun don't hit them.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't want to get a suntan. So I gotta watch out for that sun. But, you know, I mean, but I do love that song. And that song, it just hits just right. And it'll put me in a better mood. And I've had a few other guys tell me the same thing, that's hilarious. And they want to know, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but I kind of am.
He is. Get ready.
They want to know will you play that song at one of your concerts?
You know, we hadn't yet, and it's so, you know, I do both the characters in the song, and it's hard to go from one to another live, you know, I mean, because the voice that I used, you know, when I'm the guy talking versus the guy singing, we haven't worked it up for a show yet, but you never know when we might, you know, maybe we'll pull that out this year's surprise for everybody.
Hey, there you go. I didn't know you did both voices. I really didn't.
Mm-hmm.
They're going, all right, well, whoever he's got it, man, he's just being funny and hilarious. And then you're sitting there laughing because you could hear, and the last part when you could hear it switch from going from that voice to you voice singing, and you're laughing going to it. Like, Larry, and it's just, I'm like,
well,
perfect time.
We was having a lot of fun recording that song, and we was all laughing. I mean, the burp at the beginning. I mean, we was recording earlier that day, and I got me a big drink of Diet Coke in between a little break there. I was still in the booth, you know, in the vocal booth, and I just burped bigger than hell because hell, there ain't nobody. You can't hear nothing, you know, if you're inside that vocal booth. Nobody outside could hear you being rude, you know. And so I just let one rip, and I didn't know he still had the microphone on. And actually got that on tape. So he went back and grabbed that. And as a surprise for me in the mix, there's that big burp starting out on the song. It's funny because the guy who engineered that album, that was his ringtone for almost a year and a half after that on his cell phone. So yeah, we was having a good time. We were laughing and cutting up and getting tickled, you know, with the voice sound that I was doing, and we just get to laughing about it. And so we got some good laughter in there, and you know, I think we captured some of that, you know, the good time we were having. I think it got caught up in that song, and it comes out when people listen to it.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it just makes you feel good and laugh and joke right along with it. I mean, it's just one of the good songs that you have.
Know, one of the stories, you know, behind that song was I almost didn't put it out because Missy goes, man, there's going to be some people that get mad, you know, probably over that song, because we mentioned a couple trucking companies, you know, that we're all pretty familiar with. And and you know what? We haven't had one person say one negative thing about that. I got to thinking about that, and I figured out why that is. it's because we've all been that guy at some point or another. We've had our head up our ass, doing something. I don't know, on the phone. I was coming back from Texas just here a while back, and about 3:00 in the morning, I was right in the middle lane there on 40 east of Knoxville, heading to North Carolina, and here come a truck around me on my left side and one around me on the right side. Here I am in the center lane. I was running about 68, 69. I was like, man, I got on my CB. I said, sorry about that, fellas. I said, y'all snuck right up on me sitting here being a center lane Larry, So I think everybody knows that we've all, done something stupid at some point, and we've all been that guy, and everybody's been really cool about it and had a good sense of humor. So that's a fun song, and we always, enjoy getting to listen to that one, and like to hear people give us their feedback of how much it makes them laugh and how true all the statements are in it.
Yeah, well, I mean, as you can see, I love your music so much and I've asked you for your permission to be able to use the songs in my intro videos and some of my other videos that I do, because it works perfect when you're doing trucking videos and you're catching trucks. The best thing to do is put a trucking song with it. And I do greatly appreciate you allowing me to be able to do that, and I really do. And
well, it's an honor anytime somebody wants to use your music to do something like that. So that appreciation's a two-way street, and I appreciate you doing it.
Hey, not a problem. I try to get you out there as far as I can. I mean, every little bit of helps. And I know you're an independent music singer and truck driver. So, you're trying to get off the ground too. So I try to do whatever I can to help the little guy, because if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be here. And then if it wasn't for me, you guys couldn't get all your stuff out there like it should be.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the way it should be, and this, especially in the inner circle of the trucking industry, I see it more and more. And some, it gives me faith that there's a lot more people out there that's willing to lift others up, versus trying to tear them down, and realize that the industry benefits from something that's positive out there and a good thing. And so it's good to do that, that we lift each other up and help support one another. And I know anytime somebody does that, it's appreciated.
Yeah. And seeing one of the things that I try to push on my show, and a lot of people, you can see it, but you don't see it. But I do try to push, and that's the reason why I send my link out, that like the same one I gave you. I put it out in the group and on the page every weekend, because I've had up to 10 people on a session like this, and we do our trucker roundtable. I like the brotherhood and the sisterhood, and that's what I'm trying to bring back. Hey, we may not be at a truck stop, we may not be sitting at a booth, but hey, if you're sitting in your truck, we are truck drivers talking to each other, and let's get the conversation going. We're trying, me and John Freese, which is Trucker's Heart of Gold, we are trying to come together and figure out how to bring back, may not be able to bring back the old school, but we can bring back the brotherhood and the sisterhood that this trucking industry really, really do need. And you're doing a big part of that with the music that you're putting out there. People come together, and we come together and talk. And then you got Van Brown with the Bullsnot. That brings drivers together, because they're like, hey, you got any of that? How good is that? I mean, it's all good news. And if it wasn't for, like I said, if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have the products. And if it wasn't for the drivers to be able to talk about it and have somewhere or a platform to talk about it, it wouldn't get out there. The word of mouth on this is the biggest key. People can say you can pay for advertisement and you can pay for this. Yeah, you can pay for all that. But the word of mouth, improving the product with the word of mouth, it gets you 10 times further down the road than anything else.
Well, you can thank Tony. It's all his fault. He started dragging me to truck shows and telling me I need to do this and I need to do this. And I was like, I'm just a chemist. I mean, I was more interested in fishing to start with, in trying out fishing. And I leave that to Seth now. Seth just kicks his ass. And for those who don't know, Seth's his son. But Tony got me, just started dragging me to truck shows and got me real involved. And so all the products that are developed, they're his fault. I did the chemistry, but Tony, he pulled me into the trucking industry, and it just fit. And so, and the big difference between the trucking industry and all the other industries, and when you start looking at them, is a trucker will tell you exactly what they want. They'll tell you what the problem is. They tell you exactly what they want it to do. And if you do that to a chemist, we're going to figure it out. It's just tell me what the problem is. Tell me what you want it to do. And then give me a year or greater to get it done. And I'll get it done. It just takes a long time to develop stuff. And that's the whole genesis of what I do. And that's the reason Tony's the marshal of the Bullsnot posse. And that's what the Bullsnot posse does. They're like the board of directors for Bullsnot. I send them products. I ask for feedback. And if they don't like it never sees the light of day. And if they do really like a product, then I bring it to market.
Yeah. So, or if they like the product and they think, well, it'd be nice if we could do this, or they have suggestions, Van, he'll take the product back to the drawing board and, try to make it to where it, can achieve those goals, as a product and someone using it. There's not too many companies that I know of that, lean on people who are actually, in the industry, the potential consumer to, he just throws it out there for them to tear it up or sing his praises, and they're all willing to do that. And he's willing, he listens, and he, like I said, he'll either scrap an ideal that he's worked a long time on, or he'll take it back to the drawing table and make it better. So, when he says, or you hear, Bullsnot's trucker approved, it truly is trucker approved, because everyone on the panel is out there every day keeping America rolling.
Yeah, I'm telling you, especially like Visible, it's a glass cleaner, but it's also a chrome cleaner and a chrome polisher. I mean, I've used it on several different things, and I'm amazed of how it's set up and the way it does, because like he tells you, he goes, it will take the bugs right off the chrome, and that ain't no lie. It will. Especially that's the reason why I got 2 cans of Visible ready for going to Wildwood. So when I go down there, love bugs. Love bugs.
And that's what it was developed to do. It wasn't never meant to be a window cleaner. It's developed to be a love bug remover. And it does remove love bugs. But after it's developed, then we figured out it's a streakless glass cleaner. You can't make stuff streak. And so that's the reason we sell the glass cleaner instead of, because the bug remover market's tiny. The glass cleaning market is the biggest part of the whole cleaning industry. So I sell this glass cleaner because it does a phenomenal job on glass, but it wasn't developed for that. It's developed for love bugs. And it also does pine tar resins, bird poop, anything comes from nature. Tony's used it on motor oil, Dale fluid. It'll just take it right off. Not a problem.
Yeah.
Wow.
And safe on any surface. The one that got me was, got cooking grease on drywall, and it's baking grease because it splatters. Painted surface, you sprayed it on painted drywall, it pulls the oil out, you wipe it off after 15 seconds, and it doesn't even change the color of the paint. That's pretty safe right there.
Yeah.
So if water,
that's pretty slick too, because you can do it without messing up the paint.
Yeah, we won't mess up the paint at all.
No, because most of your chemicals usually are like a degreaser to get the grease out of it. You're fading the color of the paint, or you're pulling the grease out, but then you're going too far into the material that you're trying to get it off of.
Mm-hmm. Yep. True.
So what do you have going on in the future, Tony? What's your plans, and what does your hold on, let me get this right before I screw up myself. Even though it wouldn't be the first time. So what does this year look like for you for your concerts and the trucking show?
So we got one of the things I'm really excited about is we're getting into some new regions that we haven't got to play before, which I always get excited about that, because it allows us to get in front of different fans that haven't been able to see a show. It allows me to get to meet them people and hang out with them a little while, shake their hands and all that stuff. So, we're going up to St. Ignace, Michigan this year for that truck show, going and working on a show back out in Texas, So there's a couple other new ones. I know the Marietta is doing a truck show up there in Marietta, Ohio. So we're looking forward to getting over there. And we got a bunch of truck shows. I think we got 10 or 12 lined up right now. And we'll always get another 6 or 7, that or 10 that trickle in throughout the year that's not on the schedule now. So we're, working on those all the time. And then in our spare time, if there is such a thing, we're working on getting ready for MATS, the Mid-American Truck Show. We, thanks to the folks with DAT and then everybody there with Mid-American Truck Show for believing in us. We're getting to play the big arena again and open up for LB Shane, which that's going to be pretty cool. There's a lot of work that goes into that show because we also take our merchandise trailer, we set up a booth, and so there's been a lot of merchandise ordering going on, making sure we got the stock where it needs to be. So we're working on that, and we're we're working on the release of my brand new album, the Greatest Shifts album. We've got 6 brand new songs on that, and then we went back and cherry picked the top 3 or 4 songs off the last 5 albums. So this thing is loaded down with 21 just my best songs that I feel like that I recorded, whether it's the writing performance of the actual vocal performance and what, we went by our downloads and streams, the songs that are downloaded and streamed the most. So the album is basically handpicked by my listeners, that they got those are the most popular and most downloaded and streamed songs. We put that on there, and the 6 new songs, I will put them up against any of the ones that come off the old albums. All 6 of them are great songs. The Lord blessed us with 6 really, really good ones. And so we're working on all that. There's a lot of work that goes into that, setting up all the publishing and a lot of things people don't understand that goes behind setting an album up to be ready to be released. Misty's worked her tail end off the last 2 months. It's just certain IRC codes and things that have to be put into the CD when it's mastered, so all the platforms recognize it and that money gets in the right directions to make sure you get paid for your work for each song when it's downloaded and streamed. And that's a big process, and a lot of money goes into it. A lot of people don't realize, just to put that many songs on an album runs about $7,500 in publishing that has to be paid to the writers and their publishers on an album like that. So, you have that cost right up front before you even print the albums and get it out there. So, you got to contact all those people, let them know what you're doing, stay on the up and up. And that's just based on 5,000 albums. So it gets higher than that. And then we worked on a lot on the truck show, large cars and guitars too. That's time consuming. There's so many people we have to communicate with, sponsors, and vendors, and booking the entertainment, going through these writers that these bigger artists send are crazy. There's 35 and 40 pages. You got to read through all that and mark out what you can do and what you can't do. So we're just wide open. It's we go from one topic to the other, and we're just trying to do the best we can to keep things going. Most people know I went more music full time and trucking part time, and which all these years before I'm a family guy. My family comes first, supporting them. I never really had the nerve to step out and take that leap. But then last year we had so many great things happen between the bus and then next thing, that thing was pretty much gave to us. And Hattie Jane with DPF Regeneration came in and paid what little bit that they even charge us for that bus, and then next thing Bennett is getting a hold of me going, I seen you got your bus. I'm like, yeah. He goes, well, you need to wrap that thing. I'm like, well, I can't afford to wrap this thing. And next thing I know, I'm taking it to Nashville and they're paying to have it wrapped, and they're letting me put all my other sponsors on there. And I just sat down and thought about all these things that happened for me that I would never ask people to do for me were happening. And I sat down with Misty and I said, if we've done all this with a part-time effort, what does Tony Justice Music and Fifth Wheel Records look like a year or two from now if we put a full-time effort behind it? So sat down with my boss man and talked things over and kind of what I was thinking. And he was good with that. I've done some loads throughout the year, but not very many, like maybe 4. And so we're still got the lights on and we're still paying all of our bills, and we ain't going on luxurious vacations or buying Corvettes, but man, we're paying our bills and I'm getting to fly my own flag and live my own dream. And we feel like we're very blessed. So we just keep working really hard every day to try to keep that going. What God's blessed us with, and do our part to keep it going.
And don't forget your boss helps you with the bus as well.
You know, Klein's is a huge. Klein Everhart, Lisa Everhart, my boss man, boss lady, have played a huge role in this, even having a chance to be successful from day one before it was successful. They got behind it and let me go do shows. He's filled that purgatory up with fuel and gave me an empty trailer to throw my merchandise in and tell me go do the show, and definitely wouldn't be here without all their support and that encouragement. Well, there's just so many people. I mean, when you get to this level, I'm not even on the level of a lot of other people, but even at the level that I'm at, people wouldn't believe all the people that's in the background that never gets seen or mentioned a whole lot. How many people like that there are that makes this possible, and we've just been blessed with abundance of great people that believe in me.
Yeah, and that's what really counts is the people that you have, your friends, and everybody that has your back. Mm-hmm. And by the way, if everybody's still wondering, it's ETI is who he's talking about. That's the name of the company, which is who he drove for.
Everhart Transportation Inc. out of Greenville, Tennessee. There's a great bunch of people and have a lot of great family values. You're not just a truck number there. You're somebody, and that goes a long way in this industry today.
Yeah. And what's funny on all this is that every one of Tony's sponsors, like myself, we all know each other, and we all just get along and we support each other. It's all because Tony, he picks people even for sponsors. He picks sponsors that he thinks are going to get along with each other, and we all do. I mean, because you'll hear me talking about Hattie Jane with DPF. You hear me?
I did hear him say I heard him say he was kind of going broke having to pay them to like you. I'm just saying.
Well, that's probably true.
Well, we have a golden rule here. Me and Misty made this rule back in 2012 when we seen things were taking off and we were getting interest from people who was potentially interested in sponsorship, and we made it just our rule that it's easy to get caught up with people who ain't got the best intentions sometimes. And I said, if we're going to accept a sponsorship from somebody, I don't just take any sponsorship that's offered. I have to I like to get in the pool with them people and wade in the shallow and get to know them a little bit. And once I see that genuine passion for this industry, and the people who sit behind the wheel, because don't let nobody fool you. Without us, none of this exists. Without those truckers out there sitting behind the wheel doing the job, there's no big trucking companies. There's no road works. Don't let nobody fool you. The superstars at these truck shows in this industry are the men and women that sit behind the wheel. And so we made this golden rule that I don't care how much money they're offering us. We will not do a sponsorship deal with them until we get to know them good enough to realize that they are genuinely passionate about the men and women behind the power of this industry, and not just looking to make money off of those men and women. Yeah. There's a difference between making money off of an industry versus supporting an industry and having a product and giving back and appreciating those who are buying your product. And Van with Bullsnot is the definition of that. So is my boss, Klein Everhart, David Lowry and the crew up at down there in McDonough, Georgia with Bennett Family of Companies. Hattie Jane sets, man, I couldn't tell you. I could tell you, but she'd kick my ass of the people that she's given money to in this industry and helped. It's unbelievable. Her heart is so big, and she's so genuinely passionate about the drivers. So, I think that's why that is. Van's asked me, he goes, how do you get all these sponsors and none of them get mad at each other? I said, because they're all genuine about this industry and they're genuinely passionate about it. So it all works out. Here I had Bennett Transport wanting to wrap the bus. Well, I drive for ETI. So that would, in most cases, it would be a conflict. So, me and the boss man had a conversation. He goes, "You gonna you get that bus wrap? You gonna put ETI on there?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "I don't know why I wouldn't." When I got to thinking about that, I'm like, "Man, I wonder, Bennett's paying for this wrap." So I picked up the phone the next morning and I called David. And I'm like, I just got to throw this out there because I'm, concerned about it. I said, ETI's done a lot to help me, and so I'd like to put their name on on my bus, even though you guys are paying to wrap it. And David Larry was like, "Well, hell, I didn't figure you planned on doing that. We don't care, And so it's cool, to have, people might look at them as competition, but they just support me. And Klein was like, "Man, I don't care who they're from, as long as they're supporting you and helping you, try to get to the next level." And I'm all for that. So we're very blessed to have, like I said, so many people behind us that believe in me and support it. And it would never got to this, whatever level I'm at, but we would never got there.
And I mean, and it's the same thing with Van, if it wasn't for the drivers and like the posse, Van wouldn't, he would be, but he wouldn't be in this circle and having the friendship and being able to have.
It would have definitely taken a lot longer. It would have definitely taken a lot longer and cost a whole hell of a lot more money to get it out there and brand this product. And the product is the best that's out there. As far as I'm concerned. And I knew that once people tried it, because I tried it and I loved it. I said, well, once you get enough people to try it, you're gonna be good because it's a great product. And then we got great people behind it on the posse. Talking about it and doing videos and things, and everything just came together and really worked out. And at that point, you just got to say, not really take credit for nothing. Just got to kind of sit back and say, well, this is the way God meant for it to be.
Yep, exactly.
And going to truck shows, I'm telling Tony had to twist my arm to go to the first truck show because I didn't know what it's all about. But after going to the first one, you're hooked. It's like a family reunion every time you go to a truck show. Yep. It is a blast. It wears you out. Because
it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. We both give out time we get done, but it's just so much fun, and that is part of Bullsnot as well. Truckers talking to truckers, absolutely. That's what made it blow up. But the fun part for me is going to truck shows. I mean, Tony and I, we've talked this whole winter, and we're going, damn, when's truck season going to get here? Because we're ready. I mean, it's just we're missing it because it's all interaction.
And I tell you, the cool part about it, you hear people talk about, well, the old school's not there, and that brotherhood's not there. And I just tell people, like, you need to go to a truck show because it may be harder to find, but it's still out there. And there's some damn good people in this industry, and there's people who respect and appreciate those who paved the roads before us, our dads and our grandpas and our uncles and aunts and moms, and that paved those roads before us, and that do an excellent job of representing that that old school style, that was of the 70s and 60s, 70s and 80s, and some of the early 90s. So it's this industry in as bad a shape as a lot of people keep it griping about. They just sometimes you gotta, if you want to see something, you got to put a little effort into seeing it, instead of just talking about it.
You got to take the what as they call them, the old Coke bottle glasses off. You got to take the blinders off to actually see what you want to see. And a lot of them only looking at skin deep. You got to go further than that, the actual see. And it's like me with my program, with my podcast. You know what? I'm not out here to make a dime off of anybody. I'm not out here for any of that. I am here to get the word out to drivers. Let's talk together. And then also, for you guys to be able to have a platform to come to that ain't going to cost you a dime to come out here and, hey, I need to get my show out there that I'm fixing to do. I need to get out here and get my album. Like, Van, hey, I got a new product. I need to get my new products out. I mean, just like, Curable. I know I got to do the video, but I mean, every time I'm on the show, I always put up Curable so people see it. This is one of the best things. I like it because it actually takes care of the dry skin on the end of the stuff of my arm, and it works really well on these cancer spots that I have. I can put it on there. It keeps them moist so they don't hurt and dry out and crack. And I mean, it's a wonderful, wonderful product. And this is why I do what I do.
I don't know how he figured it out, but he figured out how to keep my hands moist without being greasy at the same time. And that's, to have that dry feeling. I can put the lotion on my hands, especially in the wintertime, getting out. We do a lot of flatbedding too, where I work at. I do dry van and flatbeds, and you get out and you're tarping or you're strapping stuff down, and it's either seems like it's always windy when you're trying to do that. So you're dealing with the wind and chapping your skin or the cold in the wintertime. And, my hands will get like plastic, they'll just get real hard and dry. And I can jump back in the truck when I get done and put that curable on my hands. And in a matter of a minute, or I don't know how long I never timed it, but it's like no time at all. I can put my hands right back on my steering wheel, my gear shifts, and there's no greasy residue. That's what I love about it. And, I know a lot of other people will love that aspect of it as well. Like I said, I don't know how he figured out how to keep our skin moist and not greasy at the same time, but somehow he did it.
Yeah, it's rub your hands together for 30 seconds, wait 60, go back to work. It's going to be non-greasy. The technology behind that, well, it's just, to put it in simple terms, it lowers the surface tension of your skin so the shea butter and the glycerin can actually absorb. And that's how it works. And I just figured out how to do what other people haven't ever been able to figure out. It's truly the fastest absorbing hand cream on the market, just like my waxable, fastest wax on the planet, because it reacts with oxygen in the air, 15 seconds. This, it lets your skin absorb what it really needs, which is glycerin, shea butter, in under 2 minutes. It's that simple.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a whole different feeling. And I mean, it feels like I just got done washing my hands, nice, cool, and it gives you a cool sensation. They're like, man, it's like fresh.
It's kind of like biting into a York peppermint patty.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be that's true. That's true.
It's nice and fresh and cool.
York peppermint patty for your skin. I like it.
Pretty much. You got anything else you might be doing there, Van? That you might? I know you got the Lumable that's out.
Yeah, it's out.
And I know some people have asked me exactly how that would work. Would you like to explain a little bit on that?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you the 30-second version of it. The 30-second version, it's not going to remove pits and dings and scratches in your aluminum wheels. If you're going to have that pulled out, you got to get it to a professional polisher. This stuff's designed to, when your wheels get dull in between professional polishing, or if you get acid marks on where they use the brightener on your wheels as you go to truck wash, it's meant to remove the white chalky acid marks that's on there. But it reacts with the oxidation on the wheel itself. And so all you do is just get you a blue sponge, one of those Scotch-Brite blue sponges from Walmart, put a little water on it and squeeze it out and use the rough side, and you just foam it onto that blue sponge, and then you go to work. And it's a chemical reaction. It's going to do all the work for you, and it'll shine them right up. It's the easiest way to wax if you're wanting to just make them bright and they don't have the dings and everything else or the pitting. It's just not going to take that out. Because it's not abrasive. It's not.
It's more like a protectant over and between your polishings.
It will leave a protective film as well. Absolutely. It'll polish it, and it's going to leave a protective film, just like the dashboard does on the inside. It will clean the interior of your vehicle, and it's going to leave a protective film that's going to leave a protective film. And the next one is going to be coming out probably within the next 6 weeks, maybe a little quicker, depending on production, is Riddable. That's coming out pretty quick, and that's my engine degreaser. It gets rid of the grease. That's the reason I call it Riddable. And then this summer, I will, as soon as I go through all the details of bringing a new product to market, I'll have visible rocket spray, and it'll shoot 12 feet. Even the short, fat truck drivers can now clean their windshield. They don't have to worry about getting up on on the truck in order to get to the windshield. They can squirt it from 12 feet away and give it 15 to 30 seconds and get a long handle squeegee and just take it off. There's a lot of truck drivers who don't want to climb up on the hood of the truck to clean their windshield. That's what it's designed for.
Yeah, I know a lot of the ladies that drive, they have a hard time trying to get up on that hood or get up on that tire when they get it up and trying to clean it. And and I hate this, I'm not trying to be down, but most of your female drivers that we have in the trucking industry are in between 5'2" and 5'7".
Yeah.
And I mean, they're really not able to have a whole lot of reach trying to get these, especially when you're looking at a T680 or the newer model Peterbilt. You got that, it might be a sloped hood, but it's long enough and wide enough that it's hard to reach.
Well, actually, the request did not, and the idea did not come from ladies. It actually come from elderly truck drivers.
Older guy.
Yep. And
but anytime you can rid yourself from having to, I know when I get up and do mine by hand on my truck on Purgatory, I have to step on that little hood mount down there, that hood support, and you put a foot up on that, and then you got to, pull yourself up and put your other foot up on the top of that tire, and then kind of get better situated with the foot on the frame and leave the other one on that hood support. I mean, to get up there and really clean that by hand, which is one of the other reasons why I like Van's product is, I can spray it from the ground, never raise my hood and clean it. But anytime you can eliminate climbing up like that, you eliminated a chance of falling and hurt, injuring yourself. Because I mean, I've come close to, I've come up. I twisted my knee one time, just come down off that, it was coming down, and my boot slipped off the tire, and with maybe a little residue from the fuel island or a little dampness somewhere, and it was just slick and, about busted, becoming an ace of just falling flat on my back, so to be able to clean that and eliminate that risk is a good thing. And, I don't climb up there on my motor anymore to do my windows by hand unless I'm getting ready for a truck show or something like that, and just getting really, really meticulous about it. I'll spray, stand to the side in front of my breather, between my breather and my fender, and spray that on my windshield and grab the old, I can't think what it's called. The squeegee, that's in the bucket. And if a lot of times that bucket water's dirty, so I'll take it, turn the faucet on, rinse it out, that sponge part, and then use it on the windshield. And it's almost like you got up there and took that risk and used your hand to clean that window. I mean, it does a superb job. It does away with the streaks, and it still doesn't smudge. So I think it's going to be a great product and eliminate a lot of injuries.
Yeah,
but it just reinforces that, unlike all your other companies, they design stuff for four-wheelers and then try to sell it to truckers. Every single product in the Bullsnot line is specifically designed for truckers. And if four-wheelers want to buy it, fine. I don't give a damn. I sell to truckers. I got a big Long Haul Paul's got a new song that's coming out. It's They Drove Me Away. And we were talking about it this morning, and he says, after we was talking about it, and it's because they wouldn't let him park there. So it's the genesis of the song. And after we got through talking, he says, by the way, and I'm going to mention a name, but it's a fact. And he says, how come you don't call them Buc-ee's? I said, they don't let truck drivers on their lots. Until they let truck drivers on their lots, I don't give a damn if Buc-ee ever buys anything from me. I mean, I sell to truckers. And when they invite truckers onto the lots where they can fuel and eat, because truckers like to eat too, I said, then I think about it. But I said, until then, piss on them. I don't care. And Paul got a little tickled on that because he said, you're adamant, ain't you? And I said, damn straight I'm adamant.
Yeah.
I said, you can make money, but you need to make it the right way. And to me, if they don't serve my target customers, then I don't care to do business with them. That's the way I feel.
Yeah. And that's a good way of looking at it, because your target customers is what has got your back and keeps you thriving. And if they can't take care of truckers, and that's the thing, I couldn't believe they're putting in a giant, big old gas station, fuel station like that, and not have anything for truckers. Not a thing. And I'm like, why are you trying to cut your own throat? Because everything has to be brought in there by a truck. Come on.
I'm gonna be the devil's advocate, because I hear all the truckers out here complaining about, Well, ain't there just a truck stop for truckers? We've had to put up with 4-wheelers, travelers coming in the truck stops right alongside of us. So I can kind of see why maybe somebody would do it, even though I may not agree with it. But it kind of, it kind of balances itself out there a little bit.
Yeah, but
we don't have any truck stops that would just take just trucks.
Yeah,
that's the only problem. If we had a couple
absolutely,
of those,
absolutely.
Hey, not a problem. 4-wheelers go away. This is not your area.
Until I go to order at Arby's and that bus pulls in there and it takes 2 hours to order the Arby's.
Yeah. Hold on, I gotta make the corner. Gotta make it to the drive-thru. I think I'm 9 foot.
Man, it seems like I've got a knack. I've just got a talent for timing my fuel stops out. I've had that happen so many times. It's crazy.
Well, I'm just gonna poke at you just a little bit here, Tony. But I did hear. Let me see if I still have it. Where'd it go? I think it's still sitting here. If he ain't done nothing with it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous.
Yeah, it'll make you a little nervous. I don't know if it might be the one. Let's just take it out real quick and I'll see what happens. That ain't the one. Because I know you ain't got Purgatory all chromed up. That'd be nice, though. It'd be nice if Purgatory was all chromed up.
And he don't play the Bee Gees either.
Hey, I do like the Bee Gees, but yeah, I don't play it too much.
No. Here it is. I heard you were looking at a new transmission to put in Purgatory, and someone sent me a video and said this is what your new
oh boy,
gonna be like.
Okay.
Hi, Dan Wood Boy.
That's what it was going to be like.
Hey, I don't know who was driving that thing, but it looked like he was doing a pretty good job at it. He was getting her done.
he has all those gears with a Prindle.
Yeah,
he
was getting it.
Automatic transmissions. I drove one time. Actually, I was driving for a company at Morristown, B&B Transport, and right before I went to ETI, it was about 2009 or something like 10. I can't remember. But anyway, he got a rental. My truck got stolen. It was his truck, but the truck I drove got stolen. And so he got a rental, and it was automatic. And I drove that thing for about 2 weeks. Just me personally, I didn't know what to do with it. I was like Ricky Bobby. I didn't know what to do with my hands, especially my right hand. And so it was extremely out of place. And but I mean, it was, you get the traffic jam. It was kind of nice not to have to ride that clutch a little bit, but that's just what I've always trucked doing. And what I really didn't like about it is when you were backing up into either a parking spot at the truck stop or at a dock door, there was no easing back into it. I mean, you had to either gas that thing or stop. That was your only two options. And I like to ease back and, make sure I'm, watching all the stuff I need to be watching. And it just wasn't for me, but I know I guess they're coming a long way with automatic transmissions since then. And I just say, hey, that's a preference thing, to each their own. And there might be some people with some issues out there, health issues. It's, a lot easier for them to use that than it is the straight shift. So there's a time and a place for it for each person. Just depends on your preference.
The only issue I have with it is
shake and bake, baby.
I still like driving a stick, but because the new changes that they've done, it's kind of, when I do get back in it, it looks like they're going to have to restrict me back to an automatic, which kind of sucks. But if I can get back in the truck, it suits me perfect, because I've been out of a truck for 3 years, and it's because of the rule changes that they made at the FMCSA, from where you used to be the amputee. It used to be anything above the elbow, an inch above the elbow, you had to have a medical waiver. Anything below, you didn't have to. Well, 3 years ago, someone thought it was a bright idea. Let's change it down to a pinky or a piece of ear or one toe. And then that kind of threw it all out. Well, then they got rid of the medical waiver. Then they come up with the SPE, which is the skilled performance evaluation. Same thing. Still, it's a medical waiver, But now you have to have a driver with you. Every 2 years you renew it. It's only as good as your DOT physical.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to get it all renewed. Well,
yeah.
And it costs you money because now you got to go to 3 different specialists to make sure, well, is this thing fitted? Is this thing right? And then you do your DOT physical. By the time I got done and had my physical last year, it expired in December is when my physical expired. So I was good until December. But when I got done, it was a little over $300 just to do that. And that was before we sent it to Atlanta for them to approve it, to send it back to Nashville for them to send a specialist to come out and ride with me. And they had to ride with me for an hour for me to drive a standard.
Wow.
It's crazy.
It is crazy, which I can understand. All right, you have an issue, but with an automatic, why do I need that if you're going to put me in an automatic? All I got to do is flip it forward and hold the steering wheel.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I don't know. Just you gotta love the way some people think,
Yeah,
makes no sense.
We need to wrap this up. I go get up real early and I go to bed early.
Oh, we're waiting for you to take a nap so we can have an ice cream party.
So I'm gonna have to get out of here in just a second.
On that note, we will. I'm glad you all stopped by, and I really do appreciate you taking the time out of your all schedule to come on here. And like I said, I greatly appreciate your music and your products. And
thank
you all to be able to come on here and get what you have coming out and what you got new is coming out for your music and doing the trucking show that you got. I will play the ad your actual video. I will play it and then I will finish out the video. So if you guys got anything you want to say or anybody you want to thank, I'll let you go ahead and say it now while I'm looking for that video.
Go ahead, Van.
Listen for Bullsnot on John Boy and Billy. The Bullsnot's on the big show every single morning. Bullsnot will also be a gold sponsor at the Keystone Nationals Truck and Tractor Pull. So look for it on the TV if you're watching the Keystone National Truck and Tractor Pull. And as always, thank you, Tony, for all your support of Bullsnot. And I think it goes both ways with us.
Absolutely.
And like I said, anytime you guys want to come on, you all have my number. If you want to come on, you want to talk about something that's going on. If something's hitting you, Tony, you want to get the word out, call me, send me a text. We'll come on and we'll do a show on it. We can talk about it. You guys are more than welcome at any given time to call me and we'll do a show.
We appreciate it, man. We really appreciate it and appreciate Van. He talks about all my support. He's done a lot to support my music too, and personally on some personal levels as well. So I probably don't tell him enough. I appreciate him, but I like giving him a hard time better than I do like saying nice things to him. But we understand each other well. But if anybody's got any questions about large cars and guitars too, we got a website. If you want to participate, register your truck, just go to Large Cars Guitars. It doesn't have the and in the website. It's just Large Cars Guitars, both with S's.com. And you can register your trucks there. If you're interested in being a sponsor or a vendor, there's an email there. You can send us a message. We'll get back in touch with you. We'll be putting the schedule up on there before too long and announcing all the final artists. And then as far as, the music goes, anybody's interested in our CDs or any of our merchandise, we got some pretty cool stuff. They can go to TonyJusticeMusic.com. Or if they're going by the Davy Crockett truck stop on I-81, exit 36 in Tennessee, they can swing in there. They got a whole shelf full display of our merchandise and stuff, so that they've always been so good to us. You can swing in there and grab some good food and grab some TJ merchandise. And other than that, just we don't have the release dates for the new album yet. I think we'll have that in the next couple of weeks, and y'all be ready for this Eastbound and Down remake that we did. I think everybody's gonna love it.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard you were you put a little questionnaire out in your fans group, and I was really wanting to get into that, but we can do that at a later date. But yeah, it's something that I've heard that is definitely going to be something that's going to be like number one or in the top 10 of the billboards.
We'll see what's good Lord has in store for it. But we put our best effort forth. We'll see what happens with it now.
Yes, sir. Well, I appreciate you gentlemen stopping in. I know Van's getting ready to roll up a cot in there because we
gotta let Granny get home so he can get in bed by 9 o'clock.
Y'all going straight. I have no problems with that because it's true.
See you, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
See you guys.
Yep. See you guys.
Thanks, Lefty. God bless y'all. Speed safely.
Yes, sir. Hey, real quick, are you going to Wildwood?
Wildwood is still kind of up in the air. I'm waiting to hear back from those guys, so we don't have that up on our schedule yet. But the shows that are confirmed, you can go to TonyJusticeMusic.com and click on tour. Come up on your left side of your screen, and when you hit the three little lines, click on tour, and all the ones that are confirmed are on the website.
All right, not a problem. Yeah, because I know I won't be able to make Matt's because of due to treatments and stuff.
Yeah.
I know I won't be able to make Matt's because it's going to be right about in the middle when I got to do a treatment.
Okay.
But that's why I was wondering because I'm taking vacation to go to Wildwood. So.
Okay. Yeah. Hopefully we'll be down there. We'll just see how it goes. We got to see how much room they've got left, and if nothing else, if we don't perform down there, we might go down there with just our merchandise, do meet and greets, and have our merchandise available, and just hang out with everybody.
Yeah, that would be fine.
Yep.
Well, hopefully I'll see you soon. So,
yes, sir.
Take it easy, and I'll end it with the with your large cars and guitar video.
All right, buddy. You have a good night.
There are folks out here who still take pride in their everyday ride. Those who know if a job's worth doing, well, it's worth doing right. Bullsnot. Great products for real people.
And on that note, guys, y'all have a good night. We'll see you on the next show. Enjoy.
Sure don't know, I know a dirty. Hello. I forget just why